Okay, so again, good morning. Convenience, value, and ease. I talk about this a lot. We're training some staff right now, and I can't stress enough. If we understand the consumers, if we understand what they want, we can give them what they need. So the same applies in any space. Today's day and age, more than ever before, people are just looking for convenience, value, and ease. So with respect to real estate and with the COVID pandemic and all the restrictions afoot, virtual tours and 3D space, virtual reality, augmented reality has just exploded. I talk a lot about the digitization. I'm getting so good at that word in your industry. Doctors, lawyers, the CRA, real estate agents, any traditional, let's call it old school professional service. These are some of the oldest professions in the world. Up until recently, we're still using fax machines to conduct businesses, still meeting in person. When was the last time you went into a bank? I invest in sports memorabilia. I go to the bank now, not with deposit books, but with things to put in the safety deposit box. So, the old school traditional way of doing things has changed, which also means the way that you package up, share, and list your content has to change. So, the Ontario Real Estate Association says that 42% of buyers were open to buying a home, even if they couldn't see it online. That's September 23rd in the Globe and Mail. I think that the stat was done earlier in the year because we talked about that back in April, May. I think that stat is crazier. Now, if we take an average, 42% makes sense to me. Let's take the 40 and under crowd, and I bet you it's way higher. Making your listing stand out, multiple tools, having more of an offering at the same time, having it organized is what's going to set you apart. Remember, there's 60,000 real estate agents. 52% of them sell 0 or 1 listing a year. Okay, so that means you got 28,000 agents chasing for the other 100,000 listings. And some of you are doing 100 or 200. So how do we get you from 1, 2, 3 to 8, 9, 10, 17, 18, 19? This is how. Focus and the right content in the right place. This is a wild stat. Think about that. Millennial and Gen Z customers play by a different set of rules and expectations. Driven by technology and an on-demand culture, younger generations of consumers have grown up with the media and services that are available at the push of a button, anytime, any place, anywhere. You can call this the Amazon effect or just what modern consumers expect from top-tier modern brands. I never read these quotes verbatim, but let that sink in for a minute. This current generation of Zennials, which is they're in their late 20s now, are entering the highest percentage group of people who buy homes are 30-year-olds, okay? We are about to enter in the next few years the largest push of that generation ever. It's like the baby boomer population all over again. So if you're not ready, if you're not working, you want to sell, if you've been in the game for a while and you want to sell Sally's grandson his first house, or Sally's son or daughter their first house, you need to be ready. And the old school way of doing things with a few photos and DocuSign and let's meet in person and a fax machine, just don't do it anymore. HDR photography, video, drone, 3D tour. It's all about convenience, value, ease. How you market, what you put in front of them. You don't have to like it, folks, but it is what it is, as they say. 360-degree 3D virtual tours. So this is a big thing and monumental in the industry this year. We invested into this space around 5 years ago. And I mean, I'll say it, there was a lot of people that thought we were out to lunch. And then, this happened and all of a sudden, we're the smartest people in the world. Not at all. Just marketers who understand consumer behavior and the changes that are coming. This technology was so far ahead of the curve when it came out. Now it's, the latest and greatest. You have the ability to immerse yourself in the space at a 99% accuracy rate. So time is the most valuable commodity on the planet. The more time we have, the more money we can make, the more listings we can sell, the more time we get to spend with our family. Mitigating time is creating convenience, which in turn is more value and ease. So the most kick-ass thing about this tool isn't the ability you have to share it with virtually thousands of people at the same time, which we're going to touch on another later in December. We're going to have a whole session on some new tech that allows us literally, you want to host a virtual tour from your basement or your living room, we got you. But understand we can get inside the space now. So if you have a customer, you're a buying agent, and you've got this young couple that wants to go see 10, 15 places, they're excited. Why not get them in front of a computer? Why not sit down with them, even virtually, and start walking through properties? Mike's going to show you a sample later of just how easy it is to walk through and how you really feel inside. And these tours are VR ready. People just aren't VR ready yet, but they are VR ready. So, don't be surprised if you see people with goggles on kind of walking into walls, literally, no pun intended. If I put you in front of 10 of these places and you're a person, and we just discussed how the majority of buyers today are apt and open to accepting the tour and the data that way. Out of those 10 properties you show me, there's probably a good chance we're only getting in the car and driving to 2 or 3 of them. And then we can take it even one step further, because if it was a COVID shutdown and a lockdown and we can't get in for the tour, we can actually augment your sign on the lawn. Have your buyer go there, check out the neighborhood, check out the street, check out the community, go park in front of maybe what could be their future home, and watch a video of this beautiful house right from the road. So again, we have the ability exists to do this, and the people want it. So I'm an industry advocate. I say it all the time. I don't care who you use. Just understand, if you don't do it, your sales trajectory in the years ahead, is going to go down. And if we're budgeting like salespeople, this is another lesson I've learned in the last few years. Your salespeople shouldn't budget. We've got to think about it from a business point of view, because as a salesperson, it doesn't matter what the budget is, because I'm just going to go out and close deals. I mean, I wake up every day, 5 more spots, I just want to go get it. So, we have to take all that into consideration. You have to embrace it and accept that change is a really good thing. In this case, change is only creating your operation, the ability you have to do your business streamline, and you're giving your clients back all that time. Nobody wants to drive around for 2 days looking at houses anymore. There's just not enough time. The iGuide's great. You get, all of this in one spot, high quality images, floor plans, seamless 360-degree view for buyers and sellers, easily to share across all social media platforms, fully integrated with Realtor.ca, which is a big win for us that came about in 2019, I think maybe 2018. And we even have the ability to virtually stage the 3D tour. So Michael will walk you through some of that stuff when I'm done yapping through these slides. But again, the technology is created in order to give accurate data seamlessly, effortlessly. Wow. So now that's my new word. Somebody just laughed. I love it. If I can make you laugh, that's great. It means I'm winning today. So now the power of video. Video is something we get asked a lot about. You'll see 72% of people would rather watch a video to learn about a topic they're interested in. That stat was about 61% a year ago. I think that it's a crazy stat, the amount of content that's consumed online now that is video. I mean, i.e. look at TikTok. But understand something. Video is a marketing tool, not a selling tool. So we talk about video in the context of the full deal. But if you're not going to do the iGuide and the photo, you shouldn't consider the video, because the photos and the iGuides traditionally are what consumers want. They want to see what the home looks like. They want to feel it. They want to be inside of it, and they want floor plans. Mike will chat briefly when he goes through the tour about a couple of those stats and how they continue to change. But from a marketing point of view, we want to create brand experience. We want to showcase value. We want to create some fire, get some eyeballs on your listing. Video is an exceptional tool, and it is the #1 piece of content that people are consuming on social media. So if you have the right video to get their attention, it will segue them into your tour, because they want to see more, right? The video is only showing them, like, it's exactly that. It's to keep them drooling and wanting more. Then it's a very, very valuable tool. And of course, you can repurpose the content a million ways on all of your social media platforms, even after the house sold. That's another fundamental, I digress for 1 second. Fundamental mistakes I find a lot of agents make. This is important. I'll talk to agents, and they're trying to figure out what services they want for their listing. And we'll talk about photos only. And I'm saying, I don't care if it's a $500,000 listing or a $5 million listing. The days of only photos are numbered. If you are not at the very minimum doing a 3D tour, and again, sidebar, the industry mark is set. The cost is, average cost is around $275. It doesn't matter who you use or what piece of tech. What's coming with that? It's a no-brainer. Like, again, if you're not already thinking that, you're already 28,000, you're 28,001. The power of video to get you those eyeballs and show you value. I get asked this question a lot. How do I make it not about the money? How do I make it not about just me? I'm competing against 28,000 people. You need to use the tools that are in front of you to articulate your message. How do you relate to your client? Be authentic. You should have a really good idea of the kind of customer that you cater to. If you can put the right content in the right spot in front of the right people, I mean, that's the complete listing solution, folks. It's not just the content, it's the theory and the strategy behind it. That's how we roll. It's all about winning more listings. We save you time, we save your customers time, everybody wins. Video is where it's at. Here's a great example of, I basically touched on all those, but you got a bunch of different kinds of videos, walkthrough videos, introduction videos, lifestyle videos. Easy to share. Showcase the property quick and efficient. We got 1, 2, 3 minutes. We know if we want to see more. Okay, you get to include an introduction and a voiceover if you want. Now we're talking about branding. Now I get to see your face. I get to hear your voice. I'm already making myself familiar with you. I already like your product. Now I got to meet you, right? So, and then it gives you the ability to show your personality and the personality of the listing. When you see all kinds, I have a friend of mine, he starts all his videos the same way. Holy smokes. Oh my God. Like it's, if you're scrolling, if you're scrolling in the feed and you hear somebody say, holy smokes, you're going to stop and scroll back. And it's, holy smokes, can you believe this house has 3 garages? Like, it doesn't take much. The challenge is the consistency part. The challenge is getting up every day and doing it. That's the hardest part, but it's easy once you get there. Aerial photography and video is another piece of content, full package offering that is very essential today. A lot of people are really interested, especially when we're talking about detached homes, lot size. OMB changed the zoning again, I think now we're like at under 20% detached. So, for every 10,000 units that are getting signed off now, less than 2,000 of them are detached. So more and more, this is becoming important for people to really get an idea of the whole area. And again, it's hot. People want to see it. Your job is to bring more eyeballs to your listing. So this is why we talk about creating the complete listing package. I'll give you a couple. Remax West and Royal LePage Your Community Realty. We do a lot of business with those 2 brokers, and a lot of their top agents really have it dialed in. They understand their services. They have this awesome complete package, and they know how to push it out there. And that's why they do. We have agents that are booking a shoot a week with us. I don't have to ask why. I know why. Aerial is another thing. And sidebar, again, I'm an advocate for the industry. If you're using drone, please make sure your pilots are licensed. Make sure they're checking the nav for, whether they're in a no-fly zone or not. A lot of the times, all you need is a permit if you are in one of those zones, which doesn't happen too often. And it's like $35. Don't get yourself in trouble. The liability, all of our pilots are trained. We send them to flight school. We're fully insured, bonded, all that kind of stuff. It's not something you want to mess around with. There's a lot of people flying a drone these days. Transport Canada and the American Association of whatever Transport USA is, any flying vehicle over 249 grams, you must be licensed to fly. Okay, so outside of those $99 drones that are on the shelf at Toys R Us, you need a license to fly. So that's something a lot of people I have that conversation with. It's not something we'll do. We won't fly in no-fly zones. Just be mindful of that. Again, I don't mean to digress, but anywhere I can give 2 cents that might save you down the road, I feel that that's my fiduciary responsibility here. So again, hot. We've sold more drone and aerial photography in the last 18 months than in the 36 months prior. Even just on a percentage basis, forget growth. Make sure they're licensed pilots. Now, everything I just preached about, your goal, the ultimate goal for you, what's up, Facebook, good morning, is to deliver the right information at the right time to the right person on the right platform. That is the essence of convenience. So Forbes thinks it's easy. It's not easy to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things at the same time. However, recipe for success is right there. They just couldn't put it in more layman's terms. It's what people want. So here's the thing, folks, and I got an ego, and I'm really learning how to check it these days. I'm really experiencing humility, because it doesn't matter what we think. What matters is what the customer thinks. And the customer wants convenience, value, ease. They want to see it all, and they want to see it in the same place, and they want to see it right now. Trust me, we talk to hundreds of customers on both sides of the equation on a weekly basis. Forbes is right. And here's an example of what you give them when you have the perfect combination. You give your audience a glance at the property with a video. You allow them to walk through the property with a virtual tour. You have high quality images that you can blow up and really use that, that washroom, that ensuite, that kitchen that's really going to sell the property. We have the ability to then strip all of this content and share it in a plethora of ways, and catering it to the client. If they're not on Facebook, no problem. They're on Instagram. They're not on Instagram, we'll throw it on TikTok. You're not on TikTok, you want it on LinkedIn? Oh, you want it on email? You want to do a Zoom call? We got you. That's where I was going earlier. I just wanted to wait for this slide. One of the things I find with agents when they're getting these homes is, well, I don't want to spend too much money on the property because, it's going to sell in a day. Okay, great. What are you doing between that day and your next listing? Are you going to just stop your feeds? So I'm a hardcore sales guy. I will out cold call. I will give me a phone, give me a list. Let's go door knocking. I will go all day, all night, no problem. But today's day and age, this is the tool that I used to sell. I am on this all day. My staff are on it all day. It's a job requirement. It's a major function of our operation. And the phone rings. The phone doesn't ring anymore. People go online and book because of it. The point is, you have to look at your house, the listing, like a commodity. You have to understand that it doesn't matter when it's sold. You still have all that content that you can repurpose all of these different ways to showcase across all of these platforms. That's the disconnect that I find with people. So don't just think about today and when the deal's sold. Think about all the different ways you can move forward with that content. You can tweak it. You can change the copy. Look at this listing. Throwback Thursdays, way back Wednesdays. Check out this kitchen. Finish basement Tuesdays. It's not that hard, folks. Sit down, plan, nice content calendar. If you do 5 listings even a year, never mind if you do 10 or 20. If you do 5 listings, 6 listings a year, and you create the complete listing package, you will have enough content for the year to post on social media platforms on a regular basis. Not quite daily, easy to fill in the gaps. So again, the perfect combination, I couldn't have said it better. And I don't put these slides together. We have a great team. Lucas finds the stats, he puts them together, we talk. But you know what, Lucas, you're bang on. It is the perfect combination. Right information, right time, right people, right platform, convenience. Okay, and then basically this is it. Same thing I'm talking about. We get to bring it however they want it. MLS, social media, email marketing, on your website. You want feature sheets? We'll do you can do feature sheets. You have the ability to produce and broadcast and share your content on any possible platform if you do it right. One person shows up at your house, 48 hours later, you have everything. You're getting content in between, but just at the macro, from start to finish, 48 or 72 hours later, you have everything you need and you're good to go. No brainer in my head. And then that's it. This is some great information at the end of the slide. The slide will go out. I'm going to kill my screen share here. So fundamentally, the thing we have to really remember, and I'm going to let Mike show you how easy some of these tools are to use, is you can never have enough content. You can never have enough time. So all we're trying to do is give you all the content you need and save you and your buyers a whole bunch of time doing it. And I think the premise is we just need to apply that to almost everything today, because case in point, the world not is changing. The world has changed, and we're not going back to where it was. It's just not going to happen. So we have to embrace that. And if you do, That's what's going to set you apart from the 28,000 of 60,000 agents that actually do transactions. So that's my spiel. Again, convenience, value, ease is what we're all about, giving the customers what they want. So to that end, Michael is going to take just a minute to show you the iGuide report. We do that every call, just a 2 or 3 minute, give you an idea. What happens is when we come out to your property, realtors look inside. The next day, you'll get an email with sort of all the links to all of your content. But what Mike's really on here today is to kind of briefly go through some of the sharing functionality that we just talked to. He's going to show you some stuff on MLS. He's going to show you some stuff on social. So Mike, take it away.
Hey, thanks, John. Hey, John, just to some of the things you said and the points, I attended NAR yesterday for part of the Inman conference yesterday, a virtual show. I've been talking to a number of just different industry companies and whatnot, just to get a sense of what's going on, both in the US and in Canada. And even with things kind of shutting down a little bit more again in the US and in Canada, what we've seen is there was this I guess this underlying trend of what we've been doing with the 3D tours and the floor plans and providing more information on listings. And what they've seen is that all of a sudden there was a spike in the amount of people putting this great content on a listing online. And it has increased the amount of engagement online with each individual listing.
Oh,
So if you think
I
of a
believe it.
yeah, if you think of a search portal, you're high level, you're looking at it, you've got great walk scores, you know the neighborhood, but what as a consumer, you're kind of narrowed down, you know what neighborhood you want. But then you start looking at these individual houses and it's really a mixed bag in terms of what
Right.
content is there. But the content, what we've seen, and this is what we're seeing, is the amount of engagement that has gone up and the amount of tours, not only from us, but from our competition in all markets is went spiked.
Oh,
Now that's
I believe it.
and it's dipping a bit now, but there's still a lot of people. The amount of people doing it from before is gone up
So
considerably.
we don't, we're going to do 4,000 shoots this year, 4,000 listings in the GTA. We don't do photos only anymore.
Yeah. Well, and
At $275 for everything you're about to show, it doesn't make sense. But so what you're telling me is a great stat. The world's changed. It's really simple.
well, the thing is, I think this is where there's an opportunity for the people that are doing this stuff. Those people are working with you because there's a bunch of people now that have gone back to their old ways of not putting this engaging content, and the consumers now have got used to.
Well, that once consumer behavior changes, that's it. So that's great feedback, and the fact that they're talking about it at these national trade shows just really reinforces that the 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 people that tune into us on Friday, But no, that's great, Mike, and thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, let's jump in, and I'll quickly run through things here. Just make sure you see my screen.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Perfect. All right. So um, thank you everybody for your time. Thanks for John for having me on. So, what we do as a company, we're trying to empower people about making decisions about their property. So if I'm a commercial or from a residential side, it's really giving them the tools to really understand that property digitally, online, and virtually. So it's giving consumers the information they want to see to make a decision about that property. It's helping agents like yourselves to powerfully market those properties and do a better job marketing, and also demonstrate value to the home sellers, and then reduce the amount of inconveniences for your clients, the home sellers, and helping them sell the home faster and for the most amount of money, getting really good qualified leads for those properties. So, and the number one thing, and I talk about this often because we look at a lot of stats from the National Association of Realtors. We read the home buyer and sellers study every year, and quite consistently it comes back. And the top two things that they're looking to you for is help sell and market their home, and help them sell it within a time frame. And we know most sellers want the most amount of money to sell their home as fast as possible or within the right time frame if they need to stay there longer. And that's really what they're looking to you and your professionalism to help them through that process. Also with the negotiation and the other things, but this is what the stats come back, and it's really a key stat. I think one thing tying back is the really thing that we've seen before with Realtor.ca, and Realtor.ca was really in the forefront of embedding rich content on their website, and I'll show you how they've done that. And they did that a couple years ago, and they were on the forefront versus even all the players in the U.S. And really a game changer, because what they quite quickly saw, and what we saw, was that the amount of engagement of people on a listing spiked considerably. And now this is what the industry is talking about, is that there's a better consumer experience for the home buyer, and it's giving them the information that they want, and they spend more time on those listings. They're looking to you, and Realtor.ca has seen these stats, and they provided these stats in terms of home buyers are more willing to engage and reach out to you. You have home sellers that are thinking about selling their homes, and they're going online first, and they're seeing what you're doing and how you're marketing properties. I understand, hey, the property is going to sell within 3 days. The property is going to sell over the weekend. But it's really showing value to your clients, that the fact that you're bringing a great marketing package to them, you're bringing a lot of value to them, and then you're able to demonstrate that value. And I'll walk you through some of that. But if we go back to the home buyer, what are they focused on? What is the information that they want to see? And NAR, the National Association of Realtors, does this home profile of home buyers and sellers, and it's continued and it's very consistent. Photos are still number one in terms of that information they want to see. Detailed information about the property. So that's not only the price, that's not only the number of rooms, but what are the room sizes? What's the square footage of the home? This is the biggest frustration for me personally looking for homes, is when I'm looking for homes, as I'm looking for a particular size of home. I need to step up. I need to get out of this little basement. And the Toronto market is a difficult market right now to find properties. And that's information that it's either a range, or it's not exact, or it's inaccurate in terms of what's being provided in a lot of cases. So it's definitely a pain point, but it's something that as a consumer you want to know and understand. Number three thing that constantly comes back are floor plans. Actually, Zillow does a very similar study, and it's the number two thing that they've seen that comes back, and that's online. You can see that study online. But basically, floor plans are valuable to home buyers because it shows them how the home fits and flows, how it works for them and their family. Where the rooms are situated. Right now, you're trying to design out your home and figure out, I need to have an in-home office. Like, where am I going to work? Where's my wife going to work? How about the kids? Like, the kids need to have workstations now. They're getting older, and we need to have ability for them to be able to work at home after school, or even if they're working from home and they're not going back to school and going to school virtually. And that really gives you that understanding of how that home's going to work for you and your family, and understand that. You take these beautiful photos that grab you and engage you, but the home is what really ties you into that property. And virtual tours now, it's number 5 on this list. But since April in the spring, there's been studies that show that virtual tours are now number 1. But the other big thing that comes back, and with number 2 from a study that Realtor.com did, is that accurate and detailed information is what buyers want to see as well. So making sure your listings are, have the right information. And that's what we're trying to do, is to provide all the accurate information of a property for you as well. So I'm going to quickly just jump into really what an iGuide is, and kind of tie back to the theme of what this presentation is about, is really how to get the most out of your online listings, how to get that a virtual advantage. And what we talk about is, you staging your property, sharing staging it with all your digital assets, sharing your listing, marketing that property, and getting as many people into that property. So then you can go back to your clients and show value with things like analytics and whatnot as well. I'm going to just quickly demo and show you what an iGuide is, and what it encapsulates. Basically, it's an iframe, like a single property website, where you have all your content. You're going to have information like your branding. You'll have, you can include your photos. You can include video links, branded and unbranded. Details about the property. You can put in property descriptions. You'll get all the room measurements, the total area calculations of the property. One thing to touch on, the main building exterior is really your GFA or GLA, gross floor area. Or that's really that including the exterior walls and excluding things like open to below and attached garages. The main building interior is really your paint to paint. So if it's a condo, that's something that you want to make sure that that's the number you're working with, because that's the livable space within that condominium, not including the walls and common areas as well. So the 3D tour, what we're providing is we're using a camera system, or John and his team are using a camera system that has a LiDAR laser built into it that accurately maps out that space. We get both visual data and measurement data. And that's how we perform and create these 3D tours. So John's team uploads that to our team here. We're out of Kitchener-Waterloo, and their drafters will draft out floor plans and properties for you so that the consumer now can walk through this space. And what's nice about this is that you can see over here on the floor plan, you can see where you're looking and the direction that you're looking. So you know where you are situated in the home, and you don't get lost. So as you walk through the home, you can really understand this space a little bit better and really explore. The other thing is, with the floor plans, you can navigate directly to the space you want to see. So home buyers usually have certain criteria that they're looking for when they're looking for a home. And it may be, and I use a kitchen often as an example, I want to see the kitchen, and they'll go straight to the kitchen. And this is what we've seen, like consumers engage with this, is that they love to navigate through that floor plan because they want to go directly to that spot. The home buying process, as we all know, is frustrating. You want to make sure that the home's right for you. And if one of your key criteria is having that big open kitchen with a nice counter space so that you can prep your meals, perfect. You can go straight there. You can identify with that. And then you can, run directly to a bedroom and say, hey, is my furniture going to fit in this bedroom? I've got the measurements, but I can go down here on the virtual tour. You'll see this ruler tool at the bottom right-hand corner of the floor plans. You click on that button and you go over to the room you're in. You can actually measure and see if that space is going to fit a bed that you want to fit. So the measurements do pop up for the room, but you can actually go in and measure and see if your furniture is going to fit. So you can say, oh, this is great. I can fit a queen size bed in there, or I could even fit a king size bed with some other furniture. It might be a little bit tight, but it's suitable. The other nice thing is, then once you've kind of decided that you want to be in the space, you can minimize the floor plans and you can really walk around and explore that space a little deeper, really understand how the space works for you as you walk through the home, and really understand each of the spaces. So that's just quickly in terms of what it is. What we're delivering for you and what John's team is going to send out to you is, you're going to see a iGuide report come to you. That's going to have all the links that you're going to need to market that property, share it on social media, unbranded links for the MLS that you're going to put into the multimedia link on your MLS system. You're going to get PDFs of the floor plans. You'll get JPEGs of all the photos, high-res images for your gallery, MLS size images for online, and even a feature sheet creator to create feature sheets, an embedding tool so you can embed it on your website. So just like here, you can embed the iGuide on your website, drive traffic back to your website and keep them there, as opposed to sending them off site. And then they can go around and visit and see, and maybe even reach out to you, so you can have those lead capture tools on your website. We'll give you all the measurements and room dimensions for your listing. And then again, the total area calculations of the home, the total square footage. On the back end, you can subscribe to get analytics as well. So you can show your clients, this is really the key thing, the value that you're bringing to the table. How many people have come to the property? How many people return to the property? How did they get to the property? Quite often people are Googling the address. iGuide often comes up in that first page. And so you can see here, google.ca grabbed a lot of visitors to that property. Realtor.ca is typically the biggest, is typically where you get the most views for a property from, when I look at all the analytics from all the different agents, typically the biggest number of people that come into a home is through realtor.ca, and that's probably one of the best marketing tools you've got out there. There's a bunch of other areas where you're going to drive traffic to as well. But what's nice is that when you populate that iGuide, the unbranded link onto the MLS, what happens, and I'll show you right here, is that it's going to populate your main listing right there on that main listing page. And you got that big embed there, and really You can demonstrate and how this shows your brand right there. They know that reach out to you, but there's this more engaging content to keep people on your listing longer and really getting them to explore and understand that property. So if I click on it, it goes live. I can include with one link the photos, but also the video. And this is what's nice about that, is that you're going to have all that great content that John and his team are creating for you. They're the content creators and really pulling it out and putting it in an engaging way online for your customers to really dive into that property. Once that video is done playing, so what's nice with this is that with video, and I'll just touch on this point, is that you can put branded and unbranded videos into the iGuide. So that unbranded link will show up on the realtor.ca site, and the branded links could be shared on social media, on your website, or through email campaigns, however you decide to share and get people into that. The idea is to get as many views on those properties as possible, to get as many potential leads as possible, and get them back out to reach to you. With the branded links, you're going to have your contact information in there, and they'll reach out to you as well. One of the other nice things is that when you put the iGuide into your MLS, what comes up at the bottom left-hand corner here is you see a floor plan button. That automatically populates, and it provides the floor plans for your properties. One thing, when you look at our floor plans, everything that you see that has shading or color to it is included in that GFA, GLA or GFA, or the total exterior square footage of that property. That's what we include. So if you saw white spaces, like if there was an attached garage or open to below, it would just be white. And that is an easy way to depict that number, whatever that square footage is not included in your total area calculations of the home. So quickly, I'll jump over to, so when you're sharing and really trying to get more views to your property, one of the great things you can do is you can share it on Instagram or on your Facebook accounts. I'm just going to pop up, and sorry, I have to move there. Here we go. So there's different ways to engage with that content. So on the iGuide report, you could download photospheres. So if there's a really nice space or a really nice room that you want to showcase, and you know your listing's coming up soon or coming up, tomorrow, or you wanted to post it to get people engagement, say, this is one way to post it one day, or even the same day, then go post other aspects and photos and whatnot. So it's a number of different ways to engage people. And what's nice about these 360s is that on Facebook, when you're scrolling through your feed, it grabs people's attention. We see more people click on these 360s than anything. And so it really grabs their attention, and they'll quickly and be enticed. And you could put a post to say, hey, reach out to me, or come out to my website, or click on this link to look at the full property as well. Other things you can do is you can post, the beautiful photos that John and his team put together for you. Those twilight shots, you can post those as well and get them linked back to the iGuide or to your website. You can actually post the iGuide itself and really call out the tours. One tip I would advise you to do is, instead of taking that full iGuide link, is you can go to bit.ly.com. You can make a shorter version of that link, so then you don't use up all the characters that you need when you're posting on Facebook or whatnot. On Instagram, you can't have any posts back out, so there's different ways of engaging content there as well. You can do things like screen captures of walking through the iGuide, and here's an example of one that's been a screen cap on a computer. You can also do it on a phone. If you've got an iPhone, you just flip it up, you can do screen caps, and you can just actually quickly create that, or John and his team can create it for you as well. And there's whatever the cost is associated to that, but there's multiple different ways to really engage with a property and get interest and get people to reach back out to you or to look at that property as well. So and that's it. So I kind of ran through things, John. I hopefully
you're great. You're great. I'm gonna kill your screen share there. I got you.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna take a picture of us, Mike.
Nice.
Give me a smile. I gotta practice what I preach, right? Right on social media. Mike, you're awesome. You've got that down to a science. I took a few notes. We have a couple of questions, but we should be right on schedule to get everybody out of here in the next couple of minutes. So again, Thank you to everybody that tuned in through Zoom. Hi, everybody that's watching on Facebook. Eventually, this will end up on our YouTube channel as well. So really quickly, let's see. Can you send a recording of it? Yes. Yeah, Michelle, we send a recording out after every episode. On Monday, Lucas will fire out an email that will have links to the next few sessions, as well as a recording for this. And we have a whole channel. So Michael and I have done about 20 of these sessions. I'm going to say probably 12, 13 of them on unique topics. So we have a whole education channel, and we're working on actually cleaning that up a little bit as well. So Michael, thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Before I answer the couple of questions, couple of things Michael touched on, and this is a question we get asked a lot, branded and unbranded. The ability with our link up with MLS, and then we use our own video hosting platform. So when we come out to your tour, I'm only going to speak on our behalf. We create a few different pieces of video content for you. We give you a branded and an unbranded version of the whole tour, as well as a short social media teaser. So our technology works in real time. So you don't have to stress. You get your photos and your tour the next day, your floor plans and your photos are up. Once your video arrives and you've approved it with no changes, we will automatically upload it into the cloud to the tour links. The unbranded version will seamlessly start playing on your MLS with no issues whatsoever. We create both versions, again, all within CREA standards, etc. So, and trust me, we know lots about CREA standards. When you roll, we've had some chats. We spent a lot of time making sure that, you know, we get, it's like I said with the drone licensing, we're not in this to mess around. We want to make sure that we practice what we preach, and our fiduciary responsibility to the clients is to make sure that we know what we're doing, we're giving you a great service, but that we're covering all the bases. So that's very important from a legality point of view. And we really understand that. So there's no bullshit. You don't have to worry about that. Seamless, real time. Again, our job is to save you time and give you quality content so that you're going to your clients looking like rock stars. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Win more listings. Michael mentioned Instagram and Facebook. You obviously have the ability to share across all platforms. I will tell you with Instagram, Instagram is designed for mobile, not desktop. Obviously, an application that's VR ready is designed for a bigger screen, a bigger world, if you will. All you need to do to post a video on Instagram of your tour is open your tour up on your phone, click the screen record button, and boom. You can even give a little narration if you want. So there's some tricks and tips for that as well. So that was the other thing I just wanted to make note of. So we did get 4 questions here. They're pretty straightforward. I think we answered some of them. Why should agents create content with themselves in it, such as introductions? Okay, so that's a question we get asked a lot. Oh, should I be in the video? 60,000 people do what you do, chasing 100,000 listings. So if 1.5 listings is enough for you to eat, then don't worry about it. Otherwise, what better way to set yourself apart from the competition and educate your potential future clients, or have your current clients continue to resonate with you so they keep talking about you, because word of mouth is still number one, is to get in front of them. So video today is the only way, or it's not the only way, but when was the last time you went cold calling and people actually invited you into their home? It doesn't happen anymore. That's why. Why is it important for agents to have more than just photos? I don't think I need to answer that. We've been talking about that for 50 minutes. People need to see more. A few photos of the property. Again, we live in a time where you can't just get up and go. You know, in some places you literally can't. So again, look at it from the perspective of you're covering all bases. I would say, again, going to a whole complete, I'm really passionate about marketing and content. I just realized I'm Italian talking a lot today, but that's when I really believe in what I'm talking about. And like I said, I preface at the beginning of I am not, I'm very grateful and very humbled at how busy we are in our growth, but there's a lot, I can't service every agent. We're about, Planetar's about, Look Inside's about, everybody just doing it the right way, because we all benefit from it. So
an example, John, if you
please.
want. This is a personal one. So in the last 3 weeks, I've had one neighbor and another neighbor and another acquaintance sell homes in my neighborhood.
And Mike lives in West Toronto, so like a prominent neighborhood that's got lots of action.
Yeah, I'm in Bloor West area, so homes are like gone in a day. It's, you know, it's ridiculous. One neighbor, their agent did the full soup to nuts. They had a 3D tour, they had floor plans, they had nice brochures. And both homes sold very quickly. But it was funny because we sat around and they were talking to one another about their experiences. And I was like, of course, I wanted to
You're
hear.
right, yeah, all day. This is like
So
a
I just
best place to be a fly on the wall.
I kept my mouth shut, but it was funny because the one was like, "Oh, I paid," like they're talking about commissions and how much they paid. The one agent, like the one neighbor that my neighbor who had all this stuff, they's like great experience. They were able to have the virtual showings. They had so many people showing, so many showings, and then there were so many people that were able to walk through the home ahead of time. They knew they really wanted the property. It was done deal. Other neighbor, completely different experience. Home still sold really quickly, but it was like, I don't know what I kind of paid for marketing. I'm like, I don't know. My agent didn't do any of that. And
So
it was just
exactly.
completely two experiences. One questioning the value of their agent, the other one saying,
And the other one
I
saying
would,
no, and that's it, right?
I would refer my agent to anyone.
That you want to leave people with a great experience. Like, and again, um, we all know how people's perception are about what we do, because it's not easy to sell a $2 million house, and you should get paid for it. But the perception is what it is, and we can all hate, but it is what it is. So again, to Michael's point, it's all about, don't have them question the value, and you're winning. So, and that almost answers the next question. Why should agents be active across all social media platforms? The audience changes. So although they overlap somewhat, there are segmented audiences. So if you really understand who your client is, and in this day and age, the more I talk to people, the more farming doesn't exist and this and that. It's important to be in a lot of places because you have to cover it up. But you don't have to think too much about it. You're repurposing content. You don't have to create a different post for each platform. You just have to present it a little bit differently. And then, that segues into the last comment. The questions are pretty much the same. What's the variety of using tools? Well, again, we want to be able to accommodate on all platforms, whether it be traditional or new digital platforms. In order to do that, they all work differently. Although they all work together, they're all competing. So they want to make sure it's not quite the same. So you might have a couple where, I'll give you an example. My wife and I am an Instagram, LinkedIn guy, and my wife is a Facebook, a Facebook person. So, we literally, I'll say, oh, did you see that? No. So it's very, very important to cover off all the bases. The good news is today, you can do it with a click of a button or some software that's like $20 a month. You don't need to go buy 6 different TV stations or 4 different radio channels or 3 different print publications to capture a broader audience. And,
John,
pennies on the dollar. So there you go.
I thought I had you pegged at a TikTok guy.
I'm moving into TikTok now.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little too much for me. So now we digress. So inside, I'm 42 and I got some awesome people helping me grow, because we always need to grow. And Mike is one of those guys, Ferric, and I always tell him, I'm trying really hard to grow up, and but I'm 25 inside. TikTok's like it's too much for me. These kids today, I see these 12, 13, and this is, I guess, to close off, this is a very valid point, because these people are buying homes. And I'm telling you, I create content. We have a large 15-person agency. We create content. We have 7 guys on the road with Mike. We have 11 people on the road creating content. I can't even turn TikTok on, man. And these kids just hammer through it. So again, some really successful realists. There was an article that just came out. I forget the name of it, but they listed the top 20 engaged agents in the GTA. All of them were on all platforms, and TikTok is booming. So as the later part of that generation, the young 20s, really get off of Instagram and onto TikTok, or more like Snapchat transition, same thing. Now, I'm not saying you got to be there just yet, because it's coming, but if you're not already on everything else, focus on that. But the point is, full circle, to close off, you got to be there. So creating the ultimate package of tools is just, again, creating convenience and value for yourself. From our point of view, we're taking care of you, but ultimately, for both of our points of view, we got to make sure the customer's happy. And the example Mike gave was great. You don't want people you leave that sale, you want them knowing, anybody that walks in there and asks them who that transaction was, they're like, Joe Smith, best real estate agent. Don't call anybody else.
How much of your business is referral, right?
Right. Guys, We're right on schedule. Thank you so much again for everybody who attended. We had a great audience on Facebook. Thank you to all of you. Mike, thanks always for having us. To Mike Farrick, thank you. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks. Lucas will, from our office, will send out recap and registration on Monday. Otherwise, enjoy the weekend, stay safe, and we'll see you all next week.